Justin is still in a position where he could still win.
Yep, so Harry is going first, I believe. And yeah, if you don't know what the Marincess cards do, Cyburst, it's like Salamangreat.
It was in the anime.
But you know what?
I've watched Friends.
Water type, it's great.
Did Marincess, is this the deck where the main protagonist didn't win a single game on I'm pretty sure there's a female protagonist that didn't win a single game.
That's brilliant.
It might have been the Altergeist woman instead, but I can't remember. It might one of the protagonists didn't win a single game on TV. Yeah, and it was.
You know what? That's crazy.
It's quite ridiculous. It might have been the Marincess last. So this is where you can just dig for your engine.
Yeah.
And
so
all the Marincess cards are just the same. Where like the Link 1 just needs any Cyber, so that like that makes that engine like really strong.
Yeah. So Marincess Blue Tang came out. I can't remember the name of the set.
It was Chim or Rira, right?
I think it was Chim. It was the same set as IP.
That's Chim.
And when that came out, I
People
almost played it for a YCS.
Oh, really?
I almost played it for the first YCS. It was legal.
I remember Blue Tank coming out, and I was just like, "Wow, Marincess just kind of suck, right?" And a couple of years later, they get support, and it's just, "Oh, hello, here comes the Rock."
So Nibiru here is quite rough because he hasn't been able to start establishing.
Does Marincess have any form of extenders at all? Which
so the one he did just get is called Dive.
That's a new card in Legendary Duelist 9,
so
which was the support for Marincess, which made them good.
Yes, I'd say so. I know there are a few players like Herman Hansen that were very much invested in playing this deck.
Paolo as well. I'm pretty sure he's been
Marincess. You know what?
He loves his decks that can like play a billion hand traps.
Yes. That's the good thing about this deck. It's one engine combo, and then after that, Wild Oyster. Let's see how it goes.
It could also, in the format that it was being played in last year, it could also play a bunch of like floodgates like Rivalry and Gozen, which were quite good into the meta, because it doesn't really care about those, because everything's Cyber's water.
Yeah, so you do see on the side he is playing Gozen match, and you can do the Stealth Kraken lock. So you have Kraken, Gozen match, they can lose on water monsters.
I think I might have saw that when I was walking past just to have a look and see what was in top tables. And I think I thought at first glance, I thought he was playing Sharks. Because I saw the Kraken, I was like, he's playing Sharks. Like, oh no, it's Marines. But he's still going here. It looks like I think the thing is, you don't know which point it is effective to Nibiru.
Yeah.
So
do you want to do it early? Do you want to do it late? It depends.
When is the best time?
At
the end, right? You can do it at the end.
So it depends, because sometimes they try and force a Bahamut Shark into Totally Awesome.
I see, yeah.
Which obviously...
Does he play Totally Awesome?
I believe... Oh, he does not!
He doesn't know.
That's impressive.
Darwin's not to know that, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if there's 2 level 4s on board, he goes for the Bahamut Shark. You probably have to Nibiru there if you're able to.
You throw down the rock there.
But otherwise, I think you can just be quite somewhat ignorant and hold it till
you can be quite passive with it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's nothing stopping you from just doing it at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the field spell along with one of the link monsters in the extract. Basically, make your monster unaffected. So that's like the one thing that you need to watch out for. That's
a link 4 that's unaffected, right? So maybe if he doesn't understand how Marincess work, he must have saw 4 monsters on the field and thought, I have to do it here, or he might have been like, oh, is Appaloosa a thing?
Exactly.
I don't know if you're locked into Cyburst with Marincess.
I think you normally get water locks instead of Cyburst locks.
Right.
So he is locked into white water, which is why you see his entire deck is water monsters.
Nice. Splashy, splashy. Going for a swim.
Exactly. So I think he's just...
He has passed turn. He has a Radiant in his hand, so the Kaijus will hit hard counters the Marincess deck. He can activate Wave from his hand if he controls the field spell or something.
It's if you control the link 3 or higher.
Right, so...
unfortunately, he cannot now. But
hopefully, he just set the Wave to play around the Kaijus. Because
unfortunately, I think the Wave, you actually need to have a Marincess monster on board no matter what to activate it. So
yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, full stop?
Yeah, full stop.
So right, so there's no either way, he's just checked that. Okay, so, like, I'll be curious to see how the tier engine, like, comes into effect here, because so far we're just seeing branded.
Yeah.
He's main decking the Kaijus. How many Kaijus does he play?
Looks like 2.
2 Radiant, so not completely unreasonable to see it in his opening hand. I wonder why he chose Radiant in particular.
I guess it's a dark and he's playing Allure of Darkness.
Yeah, that makes sense. It couples well with Allure of Darkness. I guess I meant more so why is he playing Kaijus in general?
I guess because of how his deck is built, he's playing Tearlaments cards. He He just wants more outs to a Rise Heart, I guess.
What attribute is Radiant?
Dark, right?
Sorry, type.
Oh, it's a... Oh,
does it complement any of the fusions?
I think it's a Fiend.
Right. So at the very least, it can be used to make Mud Dragon, I guess.
So, safe to assume that...
Brand New Fusion does resolve here, so he's going to be doing good combos, He's going
now?
He's going Albion effect, I guess Lebellion. Lebellion will then make another big boy in an attempt to try and OTK him. I think he doesn't want to discard that Macoria because he wants to respect a Nibiru, which Harrison is playing. So I think at this point, if you're playing against Marincess, you assume every single hand trap in the game's in there.
Well, I'd assume that there's no Veiler, there's no Ash Blossom, there's no Infinite Impermanence.
Yeah, so far he's doing those checks to see what could be in his hand. So I think logically speaking, the other two cards in his hand will be non-engine, which will be Nibiru. He is playing like an excessive amount of hand traps, which is what you would expect in Marincess. So he's playing free Ash, free Effect Veiler, free Mana, free Nibiru, free Infinite Impermanence.
So it's 15 hand traps plus an additional free Book of Eclipse.
He really doesn't like Kashtira, huh? It's not unreasonable to go down that approach. Like I've considered this sort of approach in Kashtira itself. And this is why I sort of struggle to justify playing decks like Marincess, because you can probably just get away with doing this in Kashtira as well.
For definite.
But not to this extent. Like this is a lot of hand traps.
Maybe around the 12 mark, right?
Yeah, you can probably get to that. Yeah, I think I've definitely played 9 in there before, and can probably concede to 12 if you remove things like enemy controller or Forbidden Lance. If you just don't play any of those sorts of spells and you just play strictly hand traps, it's not unreasonable.
I guess it's an argument, right? It depends how the format progresses. See if you need Lance or not as well.
Is this not over 8k, sorry? It's like 85 on the
85,
field. Right?
Unless he had 2 attack over. One of them.
That
was called Wild Grave.
I imagine he mirror jaded the...
I guess, no, he had... I think he mirror jaded the Kaiju, not the...
Okay.
So
I would assume he had to attack over something.
Yeah. So I guess now, well, the thing is, right, he doesn't have any interrupts.
He certainly doesn't know. Since he had to use the mirror jade to get rid of the card on his field, he probably assumed that he could have went for game. And he thought that his backup plan in Albion. He has Hazardous in his hand, though.
He does have this in his hand.
That could be interesting. He also has Macoria, so he actually does have a decent amount of interrupts, I would say. Macoria is a decent point of interaction. Harvest could also just be complete and utter variance. The number of Tearlament cards that he can play, though, is really, really low. So his hitbox for cards is not that great. He can hit Sharon. Rhino Heart's not really a good hit. There's a Merly in there. And in terms of branded cards, he can hit Tragedy, but that doesn't really help him in terms of disrupting his opponent. So I'm not really sure where this Harvest really gets him. It's probably not really a card that you play as a defensive card. You would use it as just
something to mill.
Yeah, just to extend your combos if you want to go down that line. Maybe the Tearlaments just make it easier to go for the expulsion combo with the puppet.
Maybe actually,
because the dark that you have to send.
Maybe it's just more ways to guarantee you almost get there, right?
Yeah, it does give it a higher ceiling. Definitely. Guess it allows you to do more stuff.
I've always liked the argument of playing at least one Tearlaments card within branded, just to give more argument to, or more power from your branded fusion, right? Instead of being one fusion, it's 2 now. So
I don't think it's completely unreasonable. No. That's right. I think just strictly since you're already fusion with your graveyard and banished anyway, then you don't really have the resources to do that.
You can see he's not activating this Havness yet, though. I'm trying to decide if he's waiting for something, maybe, or maybe he simply just doesn't know what he's going to hit from it.
Yeah, and he's also holding this Macoria as well.
No, the Macoria was used on the...
Oh, apologies. Yeah, it's in the graveyard.
Let me just double check the name of it. I think it was a Coral Triangle, which is insane graveyard effect, by the way. So it's you remove it from play from the graveyard, and then you can summon up to link 3 Marincess. So you can summon a link 2 and link 1 back from the graveyard for free.
I'm surprised that Harrison's been allowed to actually get this far.
Agreed. And now he's activating it.
Yeah, here comes the Havness. So we'll see what sort of casino we can have here. And
nothing there.
Nothing. very disappointing to see.
Yeah. You're so used to seeing this Tabulous Resolve and it hits like 3 power cards. And now it's just...
Yeah, you could have played a cheeky Kelbeck or a Guido, which would have been fun. But what's that, Zealantis?
Zealantis. So this is really powerful as well because it removes...
This is going to get rid of the entire board.
Yeah, and his opponent can only summon water monsters. Because Harry can only summon water monsters, none of his opponent's monsters will be summoned back.
Oh, is that how the interaction
works?
works?
It works. I think that's what Harry is explaining to his opponent right now.
Oh, is it because it's Harrison summoning the monsters?
Yes,
can only summon...
exactly, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's what he's explaining to his opponent.
Oh, that's cute. I mean, Mary Jade is going to trigger to destroy the field. So he's putting him on, okay, you have to get rid of his...
Better have it, right?
I mean, he doesn't really have much else going for him. From the looks of things, so this is probably going to be enough regardless of like whether he attacks the game and the Mirror Jade blows up the field anyway. He could talk like Branded Fusion, that would be something. With Branded and Lost Branded Fusion, it'll do a lot. It does look like Harrison has ended up in a commanding position. Again, I'm baffled as to how. I would have thought that like the Branded deck wouldn't have been able to push enough to get rid of Harrison's remaining engine and attack for game.
Yeah.
Maybe I was missing something.
Now we just have to see what Harrison's able to...
Can he get 8k out, do you reckon?
8k, maybe not, but I think he can get to a monster.
Zealandis is quite big, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's Splash Mage.
Splash
Is
Mage
that the OTK enabler? Or is that just a combo enabler?
I think it's more of a combo enabler, especially after cards like Nibiru, you just need to get 2 water monsters, or 2 Cyberburst monsters even, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. Here he goes. So I think he's aiming to summon the Crystal Heart, and so this Crystal Heart is what's going to make his Link.
Oh, he hit Blue
monster.
Tang. Is that significant?
It's basically your opponent takes a little bit of life points damage.
It's burn.
If it's 200 or something.
Take that.
But you can see Harry has only got 4 monsters left in his extra deck now.
Well, he saw that 2 of the kaijus are gone, so he might feel safer.
Exactly.
To go for this.
Which is even crazier. Because there's only 2 kaijus in his deck.
Yeah,
I
mean, even if he drew the 3rd, he knows his last card in hand is Cartesia.
Exactly.
So what's he going to do? Radiant him, then normal Cartesia and do nothing. So and then I guess he's thinking, well, my field's going to get destroyed anyway, so I might as well make it so that I'm going to play it as something that can't be destroyed.
So this is not going to get destroyed in the end phase because it's currently unaffected by card effects, which is...
It's unaffected because of the field spell, right?
Yeah, the field spell, because it was... The field spell is on the field. The field spell makes it unaffected because it was summoned using that Crystal Heart. It's quite a weird mechanic.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's quite a vulnerable... what is it called? We call it towers.
Yeah.
Just because you get rid of the field spell, the monster's no longer a towers. Yeah.
We always make the joke of just Cosmic Cyclone outs the towers.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he drew Super Poly for turn.
Yeah.
So he's only plays in his hand Arcartesia and the Super Poly. The Super Poly doesn't really have anything to use. Yeah, he's recognised that, so it looks like Harrison has took game 1 with his Marincess. If your Gimmick Puppet stays on the field, you are also locked under your own Gimmick Puppet. So you would have to hope there's a way for you to get rid of that as well. He also has Call by the Grave, which kind of stops Expulsion too, depending on how they play.
Does it? Because it doesn't activate. So would it?
No, so I think how Expulsion works is it targets the cards in the graveyard to summon, and if it's in the graveyard and you call by it and it's not banished, it doesn't summon it anymore. But the abysmal amount of hand traps, the outrageous amount of hand traps that Harrison has can stop him from getting to that point.
Well, he has opened Expulsion.
He's open, so any effect negation here doesn't matter because he has Cartesia.
Yeah, I think Harry did get the Ash Blossom in his opening hand, but I don't think I can see another hand trap there, unfortunately.
Sometimes Ash Blossom's just enough.
Exactly, yeah. So...
I honestly think it is going to be enough here. Yeah.
And now we get to see, what does the Branded deck do?
What's the plan B here?
Yeah.
He plays King of the Swamp and Polymerization. He's unfortunately opened both of them. Does he play multiple copies of Poly? He does not, so you can't discard the King of the Swamp.
On the flip side, that King of the Swamp...
He's hard to Expulsion too.
The King of the Swamp does act as Fall of Albaz.
Oh.
Right, so you could do something.
Oh wow, it really does. Yeah, so that... so
it's quite unique there.
Yeah, King of the Swamp actually does a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
I see.
Maybe not. Well, maybe still.
I think he attempted to activate Cartesia there and he got Effect Veiled. So now,
In between two
the
zones.
most logical play here, I think the most logical play here is Lebellion, right?
Yeah.
Is
and
there?
then maybe you
Can you get
this
expulsion
card.
live in an unfair way, or
I don't know the deck well enough.
no? Because now, if he makes Lebellion, he's forced to discard the expulsion in his hand, and he doesn't want to do that because that's his win condition. But maybe he
Yeah.
just has to accept that he's not doing anything unfair, and he has to go Mirror Jade pass. There's no way you fuse them two. You just can't.
Well, you can do. Let's see what his combo line.
Yeah,
gets
let's see if he sees something that we don't.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a line that's okay. I guess but this way you just kind of don't end on a Mirror Jade.
Yeah, you could always do Poly into Albion with the.
Maybe he's hoping Chimera gets him there.
Yeah.
Because this is. Yeah, maybe he's just recognised that the Mirror Jade's I feel like Mirror Jade would have just done the same thing. You can go Mirror Jade pass, and when they normal summon, you can just banish that, and then Marincess's extenders.
I mean,
is
to
pretty
be fair, you could do Brandon and Red to add back the Aluba, right? And then you could use the King of the Swamp in the hand and the Gran to make Mirror Jade, right?
No, you could, but
I agree. It's not the best.
you get to draw 2 cards as well, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just, but here it's just a lot of the time if they go normal and Marincess and you banish it off Mirror Jade, they just can't do anything else.
Yeah, I think it's very important to see if he.
And here, now it's just sort of all right, okay, he's just letting them.
Okay, yeah. So I think
you can't let him do this though.
No, you have to. Yeah, because I think if this blue tang hits. I think if it just hits any of the Marincess extender cards.
Yeah,
I think there's now 6 in the deck.
But he didn't. Oh,
That's
free
more.
That's a cringe moment.
Yeah.
So he's not. Darwin's not getting punished here. Maybe it's just a lack of understanding as to how Marincess work.
Maybe, yeah.
If you cut them off from the engine early, they really don't have a lot going for them. And now, he's thinking of whether to remove the card on the field. You have to just get it off there.
Get it out of there.
It's going to get to a point where it's going to be too difficult to deal with. So this line's also fine. It does the same thing where you're going to have a Chimera on the field which can't be targeted because there's a poly engraved. So that's kind of cute. Okay, now you've lost me. I think now he's just did a obscure way of getting the Mirror Jade, whereas he could have just saved his resources if he just made Mirror Jade.
I think if you're going to do this line for the Mirror Jade, I think you need to hold it a little bit longer because right now there's so many cards that Harry can have.
I think since he did this line, Chimera made more sense because he was going to draw 2 cards. And
he could have drawn Ash Blossom.
He could have drew more defensive cards, and if he kept in Nibiru, if he plays Nibiru,
he does play it. I think,
yeah,
of course he plays it. He did it game 1.
Yeah, of course. The Chimera line made more sense since he already committed to this line of play.
Yep. So the Sea
and now
Angel
he's got
is
hit by the extender.
And Harry's just going to have a little bit more free reign to start.
Well, now he
creating his field that he wants.
Now he can just do what he wants.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the Mirror Jade is, been respected because he had the extender.
The only query I have is just how does he get rid of the Mirror Jade now without it destroying his entire field?
Make a big, massive towers again. It's just a.
I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if he'll have access to the field spell. That's the only issue. He added dive off of the Sea Angel, so it might make it.
Can Marincess interact with a Chimera that you can't target?
I think it can attack over it.
Right.
So, but again, I think you need a field spell for that.
Right.
So.
Okay. I suppose this way it means that he has a follow up, but as mentioned, you could have just made this rather than
last
turn.
There is a world where he might end up leaving the what's it called on field? He might leave the Mirror Jade on field for next turn because the Mirror Jade can't use this effect anyway. Correct.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit spooky though. It's a big guy.
It's not spooky.
It's pretty K. And if it passes back to Harrison's turn again, then it's just another live disruption that you have to get rid of.
I agree.
And if you have to get rid of it off the field, then it's just going to blow up. It's just going to activate the blow up.
every monster you control. The Great Bubble Reef. So I think when a card is banished, it gains an additional 600 attack. So that makes it.
So he's had to leave the Mirror Jade there. The Albion is going to fetch him something.
Yep.
Probably set a Brandon in red, right? Sorry, the Branded Fusion.
Yeah.
Let's not be silly.
I think you get Branded Fusion here, and then you try and go for that Branded Lost with your.
And hope that gets you there. Oh, you can just add it in the hand. You don't have to set it. All right, jolly good. I thought Arbalentis was the only one that did that, but no, Arbalentis can add cards with fusion in its name as well,
yes,
so it can add like instant fusion. I remember
which
that.
was crazy.
Yeah, so cool. Arbalentis is my boy. Oh, is that like a heat soul? You can just draw a card?
So during the standoff phase, it can remove from play a Marincess from the graveyard to draw a card.
Oh,
so
it's pretty cool.
Combos with his extensive lineup of hand traps.
Outrageous. Since he went second, it'll be frustrating if he drew Infinite Impermanence.
Yes, yeah.
Which isn't particularly useful here.
I think that's one of those arguments with Infinite Impermanence, isn't it, as always?
Yeah, like you need a turn one, right? Like in the grind, it can be really frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's so good that you just want to play it.
I think you have to use
so you can activate Wave from hand. Is that a negate?
It's a negate, and then it makes all of his monsters unaffected for the turn. So he's now got a 3600 monster. It's unaffected. So that's pretty good for Harrison here.
Unaffected by anything? Right?
Yes, anything, yeah.
Right.
And then he's got Ash for that as well.
He has the Ash Blossom. Yeah. He's looking very good. He's very happy.
A little smirk there, wasn't it?
I think when you Ash Branded Fusion, it does put a smile on my face.
Yeah, definitely.
He has had Libitum, which would be solid if he has a means of fusing with it, because then he can get a lot of monsters on field. But I don't think he has anything.
No, not currently,
he doesn't have access to a Tragedy either to set the Brandon in red from his graveyard. Oh, he's just had to pass. So we're in a game state now where this Mirror Jade's live. So now he has to play for the Mirror Jade all over again.
Yeah, so yes, that is true.
I think he's just going straight for it. He's putting Bryn Brim in the graveyard, which is a disruption if he has Fallen Barbars in there. It bounces a card in the field, right?
I'm just double checking. I think it's a bit of a weird. Oh, he just got rid of it in the snap. I think that was wrong because now he can use that crazy link free effects in the graveyard to remove himself from play, summon 2 guys back, and that's.
Is it in the graveyard though?
I believe so. If it got banished, I might be missing it. But
he kept that in post side Book of Eclipse. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think maybe it was just if he was creating this massive field of monsters, it might just help him crack through it.
I guess it's just like it doesn't really help against the Gimmick Puppet, right? But I guess he must have just thought, well, if Gimmick Puppet happens, then so be it.
But then again, he's got 15 hand traps if he gets Gimmick Puppets.
Book of Eclipse is just a scary card as well, just because that means now you have to get rid of those 2 monsters on the field, otherwise he's going to draw more card advantage. But I would assume, since there's no point of interaction anymore, that he doesn't mind. He's going to get rid of these cards.
Yep. So yeah, he's going to keep on doing his plays, and we'll see if what Harrison can look to end on now.
You reckon there's a universe where you can get game here?
I think so. I mean, he can do the Zealantis play again, correct? And then he can look to see what he wants after that. I think he's going to add back the wave here, and then he's just going to... Oh, yeah, so he gets dive and wave back, I think. Which is pretty good. He signed Lancia in as well. What do you think about that?
Lancia, it can stop you from getting Gimmick Puppet, right? Maybe.
Oh, yes, yeah, that's true. Especially with this plethora of hand traps as well.
Yeah, just why
it's
not?
just never ending.
Add more, yeah. Just make it so you can't win, please.
Yeah. So now he's going to add the field spell, and yeah, this is where it gets a little bit crazier. So what's the defense of Mirror Jade? I think 2,000.
2,500, right?
If it's 2,500, that's a bit of a struggle because the marbled rock is only.
Can nothing attack? Oh, he's just going for the Zealantis play. Just like smash them all.
Yeah, and then they don't come back because they're waterlocked.
That is a very cute interaction with.
Especially as Zealantis water itself. It's pretty cute.
Does it also interact with cards on the field as well? He popped the expulsion
Yeah,
there.
yeah, he did.
That was a really solid link 4.
You know what? Maybe it's one you should pick up at home.
Yeah. Be sure you get your copies of Zealandness. God, it is mental. Like I remember when I first read it, I was just thinking, what? So you can just go to Appaloosa, then once you're done with your Appaloosa, you can just go on Zealand.
Yeah. I think that was like the unanimous decision, right? Everyone's like, what have you done with Appaloosa?
Yeah.
You just get a free card.
Yeah, I'm just going to hang on to a copy of Zealandness in case this card's unreasonable. It's looking pretty unreasonable here.
So I think he's going to go ahead, equip some guys. I think he's going to look to set that wave, maybe.
This is a little bit unorthodox, just a different sort of... they don't typically end on
Oh
this
yeah,
crystal
I
part,
forgot
right?
about this. Dive has a bonus text as well. If you have to field spell up, it summons a guy from deck.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just Monster Reborn, it's also E-Telly.
No,
and then,
naturally.
Yeah, naturally. It's pretty good. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Dive is a good card.
So it's going to summon the Mandarin back if you control 2 or more Marincess monsters. It does get removed from play when it leaves the field. I think it's going to go for the Aqua Argonaut now, which is a spell negate. So that kind of cuts off the branded
I don't like
fusion.
branded fusion.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you to use branded fusion.
So he's got
that does make sense. Is it also, it's unaffected because it's
yes,
equipped with-
exactly, yeah. It was made with the other one.
So it's played around the Mirror Jade as well, and it's also playing around a branded fusion top deck, which is very, very smart.
So he's going to
whilst also getting follow-up.
So yeah, he's got extender for next turn. He's got the wave in hand, a spell negate as well. It's looking pretty good for Harry right now.
And does he frustratingly top the brand fusion? No, that looks like a Aluba.
Yeah.
If he still has Fallen of Arbaz in the graveyard, he can special the
that'd be really good if he does have it.
the normal Aluba, which will respect any sort of effect negation.
I don't think he ever had it there, because I think he used the King of the Swamp, right?
He did, yeah. Well, just pretend.
Well, we pretend.
Yeah, he's like, it's Fallen of Arbaz. Honorary Fallen of Arbaz.
Yeah, I'll be really surprised if he's able to make a comeback. But you know what?
I don't
I
see
want
a
to
line
see
here.
it. I want to see if he does it.
He can go normal Aluba.
I was really hoping to see one of these Tearlaments cards do its thing, you know?
Yeah, me too. It's such a shame. The best we got was having us miss.
It tried though. It tried its best.
Yeah.
The King of the Swamp is cool. I really do like the Frightfur package that used to be in the branded decks.
Yeah, it did generate a lot of card advantage. You just can't fit it anymore.
Because now it's just too many good cards to play, right?
Yikes.
Jeepers.
So Cartesia just got stopped, which I assumed was normal summoned, and he's just past turn. And he had a Nibiru in his hand as well, so even if he did get the play, he was gonna rock him.
Again, the only thing here is, right, you've got to try and get back that wave, otherwise he's just going to try and do it again on your turn.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a done deal now, right? Like, I think Harrison just needs to set up a means of just like getting some more big monsters on the board. Oh no, he is letting the Cartesia as well.
Yeah, he doesn't have a way to disrupt it.
Does the wave not stop it?
He doesn't have one in hand, unfortunately.
Why is there a wave in the graveyard?
I used it on Darwin's turn. So now he's passed back to Harrison.
Oh, fair enough. I could have sworn he activated.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
I'm quite.
It's me being a silly Billy then. We use Mourner on the Quaritus. Okay, it's interesting. Oh, okay. This is getting like a little bit.
It's a little bit spicier now.
Yeah, this is things are happening
things
now.
are in fact happening.
Yeah, I thought like this was a done deal.
Done and over, yeah. So.
Oh, I know what's happened. He did wave in Darwin's turn, but now it's Harrison's turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now I'm up to speed. So he Cartesia'd immediately, which has got him in this predicament. But now he needs to get rid of. Okay, so since that's left the field,
and now he does.
Mourner is going to deal for 2,500 life points to Darwin because it left the field.
Yep.
That turn. Okay.
So that's getting a bit
So
closer.
chipping away, and he still has
2,000
a
life points
spell
now.
negate, and that
Nobleman of
is
Crossout.
a normal crossout, which really he's thinking, just let me resolve this Aluba, please.
Let me get this brand of fusion out there.
Can you cross out Designator that Link Marincess?
He can try. He can try his best.
It's just like okie dokie.
Yep.
Thinking,
Here we are.
Big sad.
Do you think he crashes the Aluba for points?
Just like I'm going to take myself out.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's just, I think now he's accepting his defeat.
Yep, and then he just attacks for that damage.
And that's it.
There we go.
Marincess, 2-0s. The